So we've moved on to as you said, the Margon. So is this perhaps your best known Domaine and Chateau, at least in the United States?
Yes, that's the best known. I'm not saying the best, because if all the other producers look at this video, they are going to send me complaint letters. But it's the best known of our labels, and that's special because this label, usually you don't see what's below the name Morgon. You don't see Côte du Py. Côte du Py is a climat. You're looking at Morgon. Morgon, you can have lots of different climat or sub-appellation, but one of them stands apart. It's the Côte du Py. Basically what it is, it's volcanic soil, whereas the rest of Morgon is more granite. You find volcanic soil in 3 parts of Beaujolais, to make it simple. Côte de Brouilly in the south, then Côte du Py in Morgon, and also in Juliena, where the next wine is going to be from. So this volcanic soil is very special. In Morgon, the Côte du Py, we call it the rotten rock, la roche pourrie. It's very special. It's a crumbly granite that you can crush in your hands. And it makes wine that are another dimension, another layer. Like, we were talking about Premier Cru. In my mind, this is a Premier Cru. This is wine that are a little austere in their first years, but have potential for aging, that are more structured and bigger and more complex than most of the wines of Beaujolais. That's why it's a very special bottling. So we decided to bottle it separately, just because of the uniqueness of the style of the wine.
Yeah, I mean, tasting this, it's fantastic, but I feel bad because I feel like it's just a baby. I mean, there's something you brought up a really good point. A lot of people don't think about Beaujolais and aging, but I've had decades-old Beaujolais that are just fantastic. And I think this would fall into one of those that you could probably hold on to for 10 years and not worry about it. But
exactly,
really
very. It has the structure, the tannins, the acidity, the complexity, and to me, yeah, to your point, it's a baby wine.
Really fantastic. I remember that was one of the more memorable tastings that we did when we were there. And Mr. Duboeuf's relationship with Jean-Ernest Descombes was a particularly interesting one. I mean, that was probably, I mean, the impression that I got is that was one of the stronger relationships. I mean, he had strong relationships with everybody, but it seems like that was particularly memorable one for him. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say. So Jean-Ernest Descombes, you see, it's the only label where you see the face of the vintner. It's because of that unique relationship George had with Jean-Ernest, who was quite a character. He used to throw big parties in this cellar, and you've been to the cellar. His daughter, Nicole, says that the cellar has a soul, and you can really feel the soul of Jean-Ernest when you're in Morgon, in his cellar. It's kind of unique. You have to sit there at the table with the Descombes family. Often they open some old bottles to show you the aging potential, and you can really feel the soul of Jean-Ernest. And he was one of the, he was almost like the unofficial mayor of Morgon, because he was really going all over the world to promote Morgon alongside Georges Duboeuf and some restaurateurs like Paul Bocuse, who always love Jean-Ernest Descombes Morgon.
Yeah, I remember sitting in that cellar tasting and looking around, and in the US we don't have a lot of old things, and so I was thinking, this is if Disney were to make an old wine cellar, this is what it would look like. This would be the prototype for it.
Maybe when they shoot Ratatouille, the sequel of Ratatouille, we can give them some inspiration.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, this has always been one of my favorites, and I think even in my cellar now I have several vintages of this wine, and it's one of those that I, I'm not worried about it at all. Worried about it, I waited too long because I think it'll
Mm,
always, with the acidity and with the tannins, which both are important in preserving a wine, as you know, but it
mm,
has both of them like few wines do,
mm.
which is really impressive.
So my advice to people who are looking to see the potential of Morgon, buy a case
Mhm.
and open the bottle every year. And you see how it evolves. And really, at first, you really have the fruit of Beaujolais, but with age, it becomes much more Burgundian. So we say in French, it's il morgonne or it morgonates, and it almost become like a Pinot Noir, like a Burgundy.
Yeah, I've done that before with people taking out an old Pinot and an old Beaujolais, and they have trouble telling. I mean, they can surely tell other different wines, but they can't. Um, they've noticed, or I've noticed too, that it becomes much more Pinot-like in
Mm,
its age, or they become closer together. I shouldn't say
mm.
that they're one becomes more like the other.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Burgundy becomes more like a fine Cru Beaujolais over time.
but you might be a little bit biased in that.
Exactly.